tell you something. Don't be scared. It's midnight, baby, just us two, no bright lights, nothing to prove. Your handshake, mine do too, but it feels right being close to you. Come closer, don't look away. We both know why you came to stay. Your heart beats loud, I hear it too. This moment's our little taboo. Don't rush it, move slow, feel the heat start to grow. If you want me, let it show. Tell me soft, tell me low. Taboo, taboo. Midnight with you.
Hello and welcome everyone back to another night. It's the second episode of Charmed Chats. And I lost my screen. Hold on. Okay, here we go. And I lost it again. Where did it go? I have too many things open. Okay, here we go. Yes. So this is an episode or a show that's going to be happening all month long, where we're talking with fantasy, romantasy authors. We're going to play some games and spend some time writing. And I'm Shannon. I'm right under the pen name of SC Huston. And you're here on my YouTube channel where I run weekly writing sprints. And then all night or all month long, I'm going to be hosting these Charmed Chats with a rotating line of romantasy authors. So I'm glad that you guys are here for today's conversation. I'm also the founder and conference chair of the AuthorTube Writing Conference, now heading into its 5th year. And besides what I do here on YouTube, I am an epic romantasy author who loves writing about broken characters, brutal choices, and love that refuses to let go in the worlds of dangerous magic, sharp edges, and the occasional dragon. And so today I am joined by Kelsey Josephson. Oh my Lord. I had trouble saying this the last time when I was saying who's the next author coming on, but I think I was saying it right earlier today on my writing live stream. Josephson.
Yes.
I did. I said, okay. I was really messing that up before because I was like overthinking it. And because I'm partially tone deaf, I can't hear everything. So I was like, which I'm happy that she's here with us. I actually know her from a women's writing group for sci-fi and fantasy. And so I'm so happy to welcome her to the show. Kelsey is a Midwestern author of strange steampunk and reinvented fairy tales. Her creativity is fueled by a love of Universal monster movies, an obsession with Nikola Tesla, and iced coffee. When she's not writing, she's either lost in a fairy tale or searching through archives for inspiration. She is a member of SFWA and Ally. I don't know if was the other one, is it said like an acronym?
I've heard it say SIFWA, but honestly, for people not in SIFWA, they don't know what it is, so the acronym works.
All right. Her works include Strange Happenings, a gas lamp fantasy series set in an alternate timeline, Forsaken Beauty and the Ether Beast, a steampunk fairy tale retelling. So welcome to my channel, Kelsey. Please take a moment to talk about anything else that you want to say or introduce any other parts and say anything I might miss.
I think you got everything. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. I just got an acceptance to return to Fables and Flames this November up in Bloomington. So that'll be really fun in November. And it's pretty much all romantasy authors. So I'm really excited for that.
Is that the podcast where you go and read, or the show where you go and read your stuff?
They have readings there, so it's a newer convention. Last year was its first year, but they have like a ball and they've got authors there. They had tattoo artists, a burlesque show, like all kinds of fun stuff. So it was like Midwestern book convention just for like romantasy books. So it was fun last year for a first year convention. I thought it was amazing. So I'm excited to see what they do this time.
I think I did hear something about it afterward. So it's not what I was thinking of when I was asking the question, but yeah. So we'll say hello to those in the chat. Andy was first in. Hello, hello. If anyone has a question for the author, sorry, I looked down where it says you might want to remove the StreamYard comment. StreamYard, this is an example. Is this showing up on the YouTube side? I don't know what you're talking about. So, okay. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, Andy. Oh, are you talking to something else? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, let me go on. Shelly's here. Hello, hello. Shelly was actually on the anthology for the AWC. So, and we're doing anthology right now in our women's writing group. So yeah, that's hopefully going to be printing. That's going to come out, we're hoping, at the end of March. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. And then hello, Adeshle. How's it going? Indiana. Wait, you said Midwestern. Yeah. So did you want to say?
I'm in Iowa, Des Moines area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Adeshle is from Indiana. So, yeah. Oh, if you guys have any questions for the author, you can ask them anytime. It helps if you put a Q before the question so that we can find it. And we're going to go ahead and head into the questions of the authors. Wait, I know I had banners. not really the best. This is Kelsey Josephson, and we're now going to talk about Forsaken, Beauty, and the Ether Beast. So the first question I like to ask all of my guests is, what drew them to write in Romantasy? So what drew you to write Romantasy for this book, and especially since it blends fantasy with closed-door romance?
Oh, okay. So I didn't know what Romantasy, like the genre, like the cutesy name for it whenever I set out to write it, but I always knew that it was going to have fantasy and speculative fiction elements and that it was going to be a romance. But with Forsaken, it was really unusual because I'm usually a plotter who throws out the plan like after I get going and once my characters start telling me more what their story is. This one, I wrote probably the first 10K words without an outline because I was just seeing if I had something. And by the time I got to the end of it, I realized that one, I do have something, and it has all of my favorite things in it. It's got a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I've got steampunk tech in it, and airships, and magic, and this really cool world. But the second thing is I really desperately needed to go through an outline now before I wrote myself into a corner because at the time it was going to be serialized, and with the publication schedule, you have what's called episodes instead of chapters coming out.
Right.
So you really have to be on it with an outline so that you don't like from one week to the next be written into a corner. When the serial version of it was done, my editor and we spent several months going back and making it read like a book and stuff because it's a different writing style. But as far as the inspiration goes, I grew up reading a lot of Tamara Pierce. I found her whenever I was 10 years old, and I read the Lioness Quartet books, and oh my gosh, I just fell in love with this whole world of fantasy and stuff. And while I wouldn't consider that a true romantasy, it does have a strong romance subplot in there, and I always thought that was so cool. And then years later, I read Gail Carriger's Soulless book, which is the first of her steampunk series that's romantasy, and it's got like vampires and werewolves, but it's also got like cool gadgets and stuff like that. And she was huge inspiration to getting me into steampunk stuff. And she also is very funny, and she writes wonderful love stories, but there's a lot of adventure there too. So a lot of it gets credit to her from me reading that.
I don't I have way too many names going on in my head. My favorite, and I talked to Kelsey before we start the stream. I've got about 26% into the book, and I don't read a whole lot of steampunk. It's not usually what I read, but I love the automaton that's on the ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
My pilot, he's an automaton, and he is just wonderful. I love writing automatons. If I have a chance to write one, I'm going to write it in there.
When the
And
captain and the mayor are arguing, he was like, "Can I just shut down now so I don't hear you two arguing anymore?"
he's in dire need of repairs, and he'd rather shut down than listen to this couple arguing again.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, I figured that they were a couple because of the way they were interacting with each other, but I don't think I've gotten that far enough in the book.
Oh yeah, it's coming, but yeah, it's no secret they've been together for years, and it's very much a point of contention that she's an airship pirate and the other one's a mayor, and it's on different sides of the law, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah, but I mean, the mayor is of a refuge town of lots of people who are hiding from
Yeah, so
so
she's sympathetic to that.
yeah.
She's just worried.
But yeah, he's one of my favorite characters, the side characters that we have. So, hello and welcome from Sydney, Australia. And additionally says, "Oh, I got it. We have a Bloomington."
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, Bloomington, Minnesota is where that convention is.
Oh,
That's what she's talking about is the Bloomington convention. Okay.
Okay. No, and I thought you said New York, but there goes my tone deafness. I thought you said the convention was up in New York, or whatever I got out of that was New York. So I'm glad we clarified that. Hey, Shannon. Hey, JC. And JC saying hello to Kelsey. And Eva saying hello. All right. Next question. You mentioned that your plotting style is influenced by K-dramas. What elements from K-dramas do you find yourself borrowing the most when you're building a story?
Oh my gosh. So I'm a huge sucker for K-dramas, and it doesn't matter whether you're watching one that's more contemporary or one that's more fantasy. All of the K-dramas that I've watched are so good about balancing their main plot, like with your couple. So if their storyline looks like this with its ups and downs, there's always like B characters and their plot points. If your main characters are in an up, the side characters are at a low point. So there's always some sort of tension and drama going on, no matter what's happening in the story. And then the external conflict, it has its own story arc in there. So whenever you have all of these different plot arcs, it almost kind of looks like DNA strands or waves.
Yeah.
Like out of sync with each other. Then everything lines up at the end. So it keeps the pages turning whenever you're plotting. And also, no one does the dark night of the soul moment the way that K-dramas do. I remember the first one that I ever watched was called Romance is a Bonus Book. And it seems like this really lighthearted, like kind of rom-com sort of thing, and it is, and there's some serious moments in there, but when they do the dark night of the soul, oh my god, like you really think that everything is over. And like for those of you who aren't writers, dark night of the soul is like the moment where everything goes bad right before things start to turn around, before you're happily ever after. And I guess that tendency carried over in my writing, because I've had readers tell me that they flip to the end of my book to make sure that it's a happily ever after. And it is a happily ever after. I just really make my characters earn that happily ever after. So whenever it's the dark night of the soul moment, don't worry, you're still getting your happily ever after. They're going to earn it.
I like the idea of the DNA strand. I've never thought about that, but I mean, I did notice that it seemed like when it was the lowest moment of tension with Beauty being at the circus. Now, and of course, I'm only up to 26% through, but she's at the circus. She's kind of, accepted, her role, and she meets Beast for the first time. And there's a lot of tension there, like between her and him. And like, if he's, something that's like a creature that could attack, or what's his mood, and, kind of figure this out. But then when they start escaping, then he's, then everything's real good between them. So yeah. Is that Kitty Cat?
That is Kitty Cat. Hey, baby girl. Hi, sweetie.
We were just talking about cats because my cat, I've got him. I pulled a computer chair real close, and he's sitting next to me, or he's laying down now. But we were talking about cats before we started, and she said that, what was it, during one of your last lives or something or other, the cat was climbing the curtain behind you?
I had a meeting over the weekend, and she decided to climb the curtain. I think what the problem was is I play records in here, and she loves listening to the music and watching the record spin. And I think that she got bored because I didn't have the record going. And so she decided to climb the curtains, which are right by the record player. And she was about halfway up my window. These are huge windows in here. And I look up, I'm like, what are you doing up there? So I have to stop my meeting, go and get the cat, put her in front of the screen to show her to everybody. And then she sat down like nothing had ever happened.
Actually, I didn't do it.
Totally planned.
Yeah. We had a couple more people come in. Mars, hello. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you. Yep, doing great. Someone else is new to me. Welcome to the channel. Hey, be sure to type out Monsters and Machines. And I think is that one of your other books, right?
That is one of my other books. It's not a romantasy. The characters are in love, but it's more of an adventure and mystery kind of thing. But it's a lot of fun. And I've got.
Is it also steampunk too?
It's very, very steampunk.
Yeah.
It's alt history and found family, and there's an automaton in that one as well.
Mars says the description of your book sounds like something I'd love to read. Can't wait to read it. I'm having fun with it. Yeah. Oh my God, you call your cat baby girl. I'm one of my cats. Oh, no, she's purring.
That makes me so happy.
Oh, we love cats here. We like dogs too, but
yes.
Yeah. All right. So in Forsaken Beauty and the Ether Beast, you balance some very cozy moments with, this is what we were just talking about, the cozy moments of the darker tension. Yeah. So this one, I did gear more toward your Studio Ghibli influences. And so how did those shape your choices as you were writing the story?
Oh my gosh. So everything Miyazaki does with Studio Ghibli is a huge influence for me. I love the way he does movies, because he can take on like really serious themes and not always like beat you over the head with it. But he also puts his characters through those big dark night of the soul moments. But in particular, I really love Howl's Moving Castle, and I'm going to talk about that one the most since that one has a romance in it. But in that story, it's very much fairy tales. Sophie, the main character, she's dealing with a curse. She's been cursed to be basically an old woman. And before that, she was kind of living a spinster sort of life and like kind of settled into a routine. So she has this very serious curse that she's dealing with, but she's very spunky, and she comes across this castle. And like, of course, there's all these stories about how this wicked wizard is going to come and steal your heart and all this stuff. And she manages to find her way in there with some smooth talking with the fire demon Calcifer on there. And despite all of these weird curses, and there's a threat of war, they make a found family. They have these moments where like all of the characters, Howl, his apprentice, the fire demon, Sophie, they're all eating breakfast together. And like they have all these lighthearted moments. And then it's balanced out with like the main story of Sophie trying to deal with her curse. Howl's got to deal with the demon that he's made that he needs to break from. And so for me, I think it's really interesting how he balances all of these domestic moments with like these dark fantasy moments, and like his Dark Night of the Soul moments is it looks like the war is coming. It gives the readers a break, and it also gives the characters like something that they're fighting for, like their reason for pushing through all of the darkness so they can get to their happily ever after. And of course, by the end of the movie, they do get their cozy happily ever after. And in my own writing, especially in Forsaken, I like writing the descriptions of the food, partially because my point of view character Belle, she spent so many years locked up in a circus, so whenever she gets like good food or these moments of coziness, or Beast does something nice for her, like cooking for her or something like that, I want to go into the details so that of that, so that my readers can like get that sense of peace to relax before I throw my characters into the fire with something else happening to them.
And then the Dark Night of Soul toward the end.
Yes.
I know I don't really want to give it away, but I am fascinated to find out what Beast is. So I have like my thoughts. My thoughts are, I think he started as human, and then he was experimented on. But don't tell me, because I want to find out.
Yeah, I'll keep it quiet.
Okay. But yeah, I love how you do the Beauty and the Beast story is there. It's inspired, but it is your very own imagining on it. You know, it's not the story you're going to get in the fairy tale, but it is a fairy tale between them. So I really do like it. Okay, well, that was part of my next question. The story is loosely inspired by Beauty and the Beast. What parts of the fairy tale did you want to echo, and what parts did you intentionally make your own?
Okay, so whenever I was 6, I wanted to grow up and marry the Disney version of Beauty of Beast, but the Beast, the Gothic castle with the library. And as I was older, I watched a bunch of the Beauty and the Beast. One of my favorite ones is a French one from the 1940s, and it's beautiful. And that Belle says the quiet part out loud at the end, and it's so funny. I highly recommend looking that one up. It's on Criterion, and it's called like I'm going to butcher it in French, but it's just essentially La Belle and Beast. But whenever I sat down to write my own, one thing that's always bothered me about it is I prefer cinnamon roll heroes. I like my male characters to be more sweethearts. I don't particularly love the idea of a male love interest that's going to yell into my female character's face. That doesn't go very well for me. So that was the first thing to change. The other thing that I took from the story is I have the biggest beef with the Enchantress in any version of Beauty and the Beast, because even though, yes, in these stories, it was a selfish prince or nobleman or whatever else, she transforms everyone in the household. And while my Beast doesn't have a household, I just thought about this Enchantress character and like, you know, the kind of person that would do that. And so I took my Enchantress, and she's very much evolved into something else for this, but she was very much the inspiration for Beast's origin story. I just went a very different direction with it. But there were some cute moments from the fairy tale that I wanted to keep too. Like I kept the roses, but I used it in a very different sort of motif with a Beast who's interested in growing things. I kept the library, but I did it in a very different sort of way and has its moment there. And I managed to put a ballroom scene in there, but I do it in a very different sort of way for my characters. And I think it translated in a neat sort of way. It's just very unique to the steampunk world.
Can you remind me that I know that there's this antagonist that I have not met yet, but she is the one who's like making all these things that's going against with the mayor. The mayor's trying to stay like they're trying not to come across each other's paths. What is
her name is Delphine, and she is very much based off of my own interpretation of the Enchantress.
Yes. That's when you were talking about the Enchantress, I thought, okay, that must be her. I feel like Delphine has had probably a I don't know why, but I think she's like the ex-girlfriend of the mayor.
Yeah. There's history there. Yeah, okay. It's messy.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I kind of picked up already that there was a love, something there between the captain and the mayor, and the way those two were arguing, the way they both talked about Delphine. I was like, this was like a love triangle at some point. Not maybe all at the same time, but like really close together. So
it's messy history there. It makes it more fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I picked that up. Okay, so when you're plotting a story like this, do you outline the emotional beats first, or do you do the characters surprise you along the way?
So I try to do both at the same time, making sure that I'm hitting those emotional beats and the plot points, but I did get surprised by this. The airship captain and the mayor were complete accidents. whenever I was initially outlining the story, I knew that I needed to have characters to fulfill these roles to get my characters from point A to point B. But then as I started outlining, they just kind of flew off the page, and their relationship and their history evolved. And then I found a way to tie it into Delphine and this history. And it just sort of kind of naturally evolved from there. And then they had their own emotional beats to hit throughout the story too. So I say that I'm a plotter, but like, I'll make the plan and then I'll throw the plan out as soon as it starts getting more interesting. I usually do get to the ending that I intended to, just the way that I get there might change and does frequently change along the way.
Yeah. I don't plot at all, but I always know how it's going to start and how it's going to end. So the things in the middle always surprise me. But I do tend to like see scenes throughout the story. Sometimes they end up in the story, sometimes they don't. But that's interesting that you didn't think of the captain and mayor when they both seem to have very pivotal roles, especially when it comes to Delphine. So,
Yes.
yeah. So
I was surprised too. Like, yeah, they originally weren't there, and then as I was outlining, they just started showing up. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go with this, so we're gonna put that in there, and oh, it all makes sense. So I accidentally did it on purpose, I guess.
yeah, and I like the captain. I've just met the mayor, so I don't know much about her yet. But the captain, I do like her. I like how she was kind of standoffish at first, and she thought that that Beast and Belle could be working for Delphine. And then, of course, then she had to try and convince the mayor, no, that they're good. And then, of course, how do you say that word again? I'm Maton, automaton.
Oh, automaton.
Automaton. Okay, yeah. So they were fighting for her for both of them. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how they weren't like pivotal in your mind because they're very big, strong characters.
Yeah, I was surprised by it too, but it ended up working out so well because it also gives my Belle and my Beast, who are both very isolated people, somebody outside of their own little world to talk to and like see what a relationship looks like, the good, the bad, the messy, all of those things. So it really becomes a support system.
The relationship between the captain and the mayor seems pretty messy at this point.
Oh yeah, yes.
But they're both sweet. I like them both. Yeah. Where I'm at, it's not been confirmed that they are in a relationship, but I definitely got that from like their verbal, what they said back and forth to each other. And of course, then when the what was the word again?
Automaton. Robot works too.
Robot. Okay, so when the robot said that he was shut down, I was like, oh, there's something more here. So, don't forget to put the like button, people. Thank you so much, Andy. Appreciate that. All right, so for readers picking this, am I the right one? Yeah. So for readers picking this book for the romance, the fantasy, or both, what do you hope they feel when they reach the end?
I hope that they feel like that they've been on a journey with these characters. I try to write characters that you want to root for and write worlds that you can really escape into and that feel real, even if it's got like weird and kind of magical technology into it. And of course, the romance, being able to see that these characters really do belong together and they do have to fight through everything, near impossible odds at
together.
Some points.
It feels like they work together. Yeah.
And they're saving each other all of the time.
Yeah, all the time.
It's never just one-sided. They're always saving each other, sometimes literally, sometimes emotionally. And I hope that readers really enjoy that journey, all the ups and downs throughout it.
Yeah. I definitely got that because I like enemies to romance is what I like to write. Enemies to romance, enemies to lovers romance. And so there's not a lot of working together until they figure out their differences. But with Belle and Beast, they pretty much started working together as soon as they escaped they worked together to escape the circus, even though he thought her plan was stupid. But they did get away. And then they're pretty much in each other's corner the rest of the time. And I was saying before we came on, I was like, I really like, there's like very small tension moments between them that like you could see the romance building little by little by little. And I really appreciate that. So I really like that part. All right. So what is your favorite fantasy or romance trope and why?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I've got two of them. My first one is very much the cinnamon roll hero. I very much like writing, especially my male characters. I want them to be sweet on my female characters, especially whenever I'm writing ones where it's more that, like if she's been through some trauma and stuff, she needs somebody sweet in her life. And I liked writing Beast as a cinnamon roll because he takes the time to learn so many things for Belle and to surprise her. He learns how to cook despite all of his stuff that he's got going on with his own condition. And he's a perfect balance to whenever she's feeling a little bit too melancholy about everything, because she has her own problems to deal with her ether poisoning condition that makes her the super strong, but it can also make her sick. So it was really important to me to write a sweetheart like that. I'm when it's done well, I don't mind like the more alpha characters and stuff, but for me, I just enjoy escaping more into like I like my male characters to be sweet. The other trope that I really like is the "Who did this to you" one, because I love it whenever my characters, and I write that for female and male characters, the idea of like really being in the corner for the other character. Sometimes that can be literal if there's a fight, or sometimes it can be more of an emotional support thing. But I just think that that opens up moments of tenderness, and I've also seen it done really well in Enemies to Lovers, where like enemies are like, "Who did this to you?" And like that's the turning point, and that's always my favorite part of like if I'm reading outside of my usual things. I look for that moment, and it's a lot of fun.
I think I like the more when I write, my male characters are a little more alpha, but my female characters are just as strong. And in the book that I just finished writing, he has a "Who did this to you?" Like seeing an injury on her. She's like, "Oh, no worry, you'll find his carcass underneath one of your desks."
I love that. That is a fun twist on that.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So I like doing that. But yeah. I think we are on to the next part of the show. We've got through all the questions, and now we're going to transition to the fun and games. And what this is that as she chose the "Would You Rather," and what this is about is that I prepared a list of whimsical and fantasy romance themed "Would You Rather" questions that we'll answer. And for everyone in the chat, we'd love for you to play along and make your choices with us and have some fun. And I do make these specifically as much as I can specifically for like what I can find from your book. So like the ideas, the tropes, the characters, that kind of thing. So hopefully I did a good job since I didn't get to read all of it. But all right. So the first one, would you rather? Would you rather be magically bound to a misunderstood monster who would destroy the world for you, or adored by a perfect human who could never truly understand you?
Oh, the monster every time.
I knew you. Yeah, I figured you'd go with the monster one. I think I'd probably do that one too. The misunderstood monster. And all right, so next one is, would you rather wield ether magic that looks beautiful but drains your energy instantly, or wield shadow magic that scares everyone but makes you invincible?
Ooh, that's a tough one, but I think, well, if I've got the misunderstood monster in my corner, I'll take the shadow thing because he'll still understand.
I was saying the same thing. I would go with the shadow, not the same reason, but I would go with the shadow magic. Mars came in and said the first one, the monster. So that was to the previous question. It is a little bit slower from the YouTube side and StreamYard. So Rachel finally caught a Charmed live. We were right in the "Would You Rather" section. So I think this is she was on a couple years ago when we did this because she had been proposed on. Hope everyone's having a glorious day. We are. Thank you so much. All right, next one. Would you rather live with a beautiful curse that makes you feared, or lose your magic forever but finally be free?
Oh man, that one is hard. I guess I would rather be free, but man, that would be a tough one.
I think I'd go with the first one. Beautiful curse that makes you feared.
I can see that. That one is it's really close.
Yeah, it's a close one. All right, next one. Would you rather your monster boyfriend have massive wings that accidentally knock things over in your house constantly, or have glowing eyes that act as a permanent nightlight when you're trying to sleep?
I could do the glowing eyes. I'm more of a night owl anyway. I'll sleep in. It'll be fine.
I would go with the wings because I'm very, very sensitive at night. I have to have everything shut off, and I have black tape over anything that's electrical. So there's no electrical lights coming from anything.
That's fair.
Rachel says, free. Feared only encourages the mobs to break out and sell.
That's wonderful.
Mara says she would choose the glowing eyes. It goes with his CPAP. Love that. Okay. To break a magical curse, would you rather have to solve a nearly impossible riddle while a timer ticks down, or have to teach a grumpy 7-foot-tall beast how to ballroom dance?
I'll go with teach the beast how to ballroom dance. We'll probably both be in trouble because I'm not that coordinated, but timers stress me out so much.
Yeah, me too. I have time anxiety. So yeah, I can't.
Oh my gosh, I have a book coming up and I've got a character with major time anxiety and it's linked to the curse that she has. And so whenever she's thinking about the timer going off before
Yeah.
she has to return, that's all me, all my head. Whenever I've got something on the schedule, like my brain will do this to me, like countdown to the deadline. It's awful. So ballroom dancing.
Yeah. I would have to put like a caveat, like, can I have my feet on top of yours? So I don't get stepped
Yeah.
on. Ballroom dance. I suck at riddles. Yeah, riddles are hard. And then have a countdown timer with it too. Nah.
No.
Andy says, I'll pick the ticking down timer and just wait for it to end it all.
Oh no.
Ballroom dance, says Mars. Ballroom dance, says Shelly. Andy says, I hate riddles. I can't solve it. I just want it to end. End it all. And Rachel's like, Andy. All right, next one. Would you rather be the town outcast who is free to do whatever she wants, or the beloved royal who is adored by everyone but isn't allowed to leave the castle walls?
Oh gosh, outcast. Nope. I need my freedom.
Me too. Same. Yeah. Rather, I cannot be stuck indoors all the time.
No.
Come on. I can't be the only one who wants to end it. I hate ticking timers. Me too. Kelsey gets me. Okay. I have a lot of these. I think I made like 20. Yeah. But I think toward the end they kind of sound the same. Okay. Would you rather share a telepathic bond where you can hear his intrusive thoughts 24/7, or a physical empathetic bond where you feel it every time he stubs his toe?
Oh my gosh. Oh man, I feel like this one is a no-winning situation.
Right?
I guess the physical one, and I'm gonna hope he's not clumsy because I don't know that after social media, I don't know if I want to know anybody's thoughts, you know?
Right. Outcast. My entire in real life goal is to go full mysterious crone.
It's a good goal.
Outcast too. I think I'm already an outcast.
Oh.
Hold on. Can he also feel when I stub my toes?
Oh no, I didn't think of that. He's in trouble because I am very clumsy.
I'm very clumsy too. Yeah. Empathetic bond for Andy. I would hate to be in someone's head all the time. Can you imagine them thinking what they're answering? Do I look fat in this dress?
Yeah, there's no winning with that one.
No. So I just stay inside and write imaginary friends.
It's a solid plan.
Stub that toe, baby. Stub it. Clumsy tribe. That's us.
Yes.
All right. Would you rather be cherished for your inner strength while your appearance is feared, or admired for your beauty while your pain is ignored?
Ooh, definitely the first one. Because ignoring pain, that sounds awful.
Yeah. Well, if I'm going to have magic that's fearful, then I'm going to go with appearance that's feared too. So, fist bump for the clumsy tribe.
Yes.
Would you rather be trapped in a luxurious magical library with no one but your enemy, or be free to roam a beautiful enchanted forest, but you're being hunted by the royal guard?
Ooh, I'm going to take the library because I can at least ignore my enemy if I'm reading enough. Maybe I'll get them to turn around. And if I don't, it's a library. There's enough books and we can just happily ignore each other. As long as we're not going for the same book, that might be a problem. But, you know.
That might be what makes you guys enemies.
That's true. That could be a problem.
So I don't want my pain ignored.
No.
I'm already a semi-feral trash goblin, so weird appearance, full speed. At least I'd be found in the library. True.
That's true. That's true.
Jocelyn says, I made it. Hey, Jocelyn, how's it going? Rachel says, hey to Jocelyn, too. We're on the Would You Rather questions, this is a really popular game. I had this one on the first Charm Chats, and almost everybody chose it. There was a few that didn't. And again, this time I think about half of the people chose the same game, but I love making these questions. So
I think that they're fun.
Yeah. Okay, next one. If you were stuck in a cursed castle, would you rather have a sassy enchanted mirror that critiques your outfits every morning, or a gloomy enchanted wardrobe that only allows you to wear capes?
You know, if I have the capes, I'm at least warm in the castles, and castles are notoriously hard to heat, so I can deal with the gloomy wardrobe. I don't know if I could take first thing in the morning hearing from a sassy mirror, because I'm not a morning person to begin with, and I feel like we're gonna fight.
I think I'd just be worried. I mean, am I alone in this castle? Because if I'm only wearing a cape, there's probably going to be some flashing at some point.
That's I did not think of that.
Yeah. Capes are
Maybe
pretty cool.
as well.
I mean, it's a Enchanted Castle. It could just be us, our own
True.
us.
That's true.
As long as we see out of the library where our enemies at. All I hear is, you're wearing that again? Hey, Jocelyn from Andy. Would you rather have a love interest who only communicates in protective growls that you somehow understand, or a love interest who only speaks in vague ancient prophecies?
I think I could handle the protective growls more than prophecies, because I don't want to spend too much time trying to decipher what it means. I feel like that would get old really fast.
As long as I don't have a tick down timer, I'd be okay with the vague ancient prophecies, because I think that'd be fun to try to decipher them.
I could see that. Yeah, I guess without a timer it wouldn't be so bad, but my goodness, if you're just trying to ask him what he wants for dinner and he gives you a prophecy, that might get old.
Yeah, it's true. You can say, I see the future in which the noodles are burned. Oh, gosh. Growls. Sounds like my little pup sometimes.
No.
Ooh, prophecies. Deciphering prophecies might be really annoying. Could mean anything all the time. Hi, Andy, back from Jocelyn. Growl wins for me, says Andy says. The other would annoy me to no end. Growls works for everything. When you wake up, when you're in bed, when you're in any mood. Okay, let's see the next one. At the end of the story, would you rather the hero stays in his monster form forever, but remembers everything, or he turns back into a beautiful human, but loses all memory of falling in love with you? You're going to choose the first one.
Yeah, I'm going to choose the first one. That would be terrible if he lost the memory. You have to start all over again. Oh, no.
Yeah, well, I'm going back to the beginning of our show where you said you fell in love with the beast before he became human.
Yeah.
So I was like, you're going to go with the first one.
That particular transformation, it just, they missed the mark. He shouldn't have been smooth skinned. They made him too pretty, I think, for me.
Yeah. I don't like blondes, so.
Yeah. Oh, and I wouldn't have even minded the blonde if they had just given him like some stubble or
Scruff.
Yes, he needed scruff. He was missing scruff.
Yeah.
Too clean cut.
Hi, back to Rachel from Jocelyn. First one says, Mara, so she'd want the monster who remembers everything. It would break my heart if it wasn't remembered. Nah, second one, because I would 100% mess with him.
Oh, no.
This Kiwi03, hello, hi, welcome. Hi, Kiwi, says Rachel. I'm Andy. Oh, I'm with Andy, not Andy. Growls are best, and I would want my true love to remain a beast and keep our memories. I think the only thing I'm thinking of with this one, and I didn't get to the rest of the end of the book, but the beast in your story feels like he was someone who was operated on and made into this beast. Like he had all these different parts basically put together, like the green guy, the book Frankenstein, like a Frankenstein. He's like a Frankenstein sign, and I'm sure he's got all these memories. Well, he doesn't remember who he was before that, but he has the memories of seeing who he is and seeing what doesn't look right to him. So in that case, that's how I was kind of coming up with this idea for this question, because he could lose all the memory of all those terrible things that happened to him. I don't know. That's what I was thinking.
Yes, he's very much inspired by Frankenstein, and I've had readers compare the leaf scene in the newest Frankenstein movie of Guillermo del Toro's to the first meeting between my Belle and my Beast. Like it reminds them of that, even though my book came out one before that. But I'm like, yeah, if you like the leaf scene in the new Frankenstein, then you're going to like their dynamic a lot, because it's very, very similar.
Nice. I'm reading an arc and working on Read the Beats. Nice.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, we're going to be heading into a sprint here soon, and then we'll do a half-hour sprint. I want to get a few more of these Would You Rather questions, because I think they They're really good. I've seen you a few times in Nakota's sprints. Oh, okay. I don't know who Nakota is.
Hmm.
I don't know who that might be. Jocelyn, you're a true romantic.
Oh,
All right, let's get to another one here. I'm getting to the parts where these pretty much all sound the same to me. But would you rather share a soul deep bond with a creature from another realm, or experience a safe, ordinary love with no magic at all?
I think the first one, although that sounds like it has the potential to turn tragic if they're stuck in another realm. But
Yeah,
it sounds compelling.
I think I would go with the first one too. Yeah, Dusty Books and the first Nakota. Okay, when you said Nakota, I thought of Coda, but I wasn't sure. So okay, I do know who you're talking about. Share the bond. Yeah, I think so. The soul deep bond with a creature from another realm. There's just something about knowing that you have a bond with someone who knows you so deeply and still wants to have that bond.
And
So
feeling seen.
yes, as long as I can feel the connection or feel the person. Would you rather embrace the darkness inside you to save the one you love, or stay pure and lose them forever?
Oh, I'm saving them.
So you're going to become dark.
I guess so. It's a whole thing. Like I played D&D years ago, and I had the biggest beef with the paladin in the group because they would let their oath get in the way of doing the right thing, and I'm like, I could never. Like, no, we're going to save them no matter what.
Even if you fall. So you like Anakin Skywalker's? No, just kidding.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding.
maybe
It's not quite enough.
not the way he did it, I think was very immature, but
Yeah.
I think that there's some potential there, and I can see the appeal. I just
Yeah.
think he could have been a little bit smarter about things, but that's
How he
the
did it.
tragedy of his character.
Yeah. Safe and ordinary. I'd be a novel experience. Oh, it'd be a novel experience, mostly because I tried to avoid any MC path as it is, Chrome Love. Saving them, always. The soul deep bond from another realm sounds ideal, I think, says Jocelyn. OMG, the right thing is matter of perspective. We know that's what the Sith agree with. Oh boy.
Oh no.
All right, let's do one more and then we'll get ready for our sprint. Would you rather be the reason a feared beast learns to love, or the reason a powerful being learns mercy?
Oh no, that is a really, really hard one. I think the first one, but the second one is also really good.
Because the first one would be one person being changed, and the second one could possibly have an influence on everybody in that person's life.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
Yeah. But you do without love for the second one. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which one I would choose, to be honest. This is one I didn't know the answer to, but I thought it was a good one. So
It is a very good one. That is a conundrum.
yep. All right, we are done with the fun and games portion. Next, we're going to do the happily ever after writing sprint. Again, it's author's choice, and Kelsey chose for us to work on our own writing or whatever it is that you want to do. So it doesn't have to be writing. So you can use this, right? Oh no, you chose a random fantasy prompt. Did I choose the wrong?
Oh, I was leaving it up to you.
Oh, you left it up to me. Okay, so let's just work on our own because that's what I had written, and then I wrote after that a random prompt. So I don't know why I did that. I messed myself up. Yeah, because I'll have to go open another document, and I don't know if I'd have to go find that document if we're going to do a random prompt. Do you want to do a random prompt? I can go find it.
Either of those sounds good to me.
Let me see. Fun and games. Where's the fantasy writing prompts? Okay, I have 28 prompts. So you get to choose a number. So if we want to do a random one, let me see what the chat is saying. It's a tough question, Shannon. Ooh, the hard last question. Oh, okay. Yeah, so do you want to do a random one?
Sure, we'll do a random one.
All right, so what did I just say? 28?
Oh, 1 through 28?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I don't have the last few numbered. So yes, 28. So choose number 1 through 28.
We'll do 13.
13, okay. A mysterious antique shop appears in a city overnight. Ooh, this could work great for you with the
That's fun.
selling enchanted items that grant wishes at a price. A curious witch and a disillusioned angel meet at the shop and embark on a quest to break the enchantment before it consumes them.
Yeah, I can work with that.
Yeah, you can do some steampunk with that. I'm going to drop that into. So those are in the chat. You do not have to do the writing prompt. Kelsey and I are going to try it out. And you're welcome to read or write, do housework, coursework, day job, or just taking care of you, whatever works for you guys. Is it all going to fit in there? We'll see if it goes. I broke it up in two automatically. Okay, so I put the writing prompt into the chat. And Kelsey, if you don't have access to that, let me put it into, if you look at where we're at in the back end, there's a private chat. I'm going to put it in the private chat so you have it there too.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, all right. And I need to pull up the, I forgot to pull up the video too. Okay. So while I'm trying to pull up the video, Automaton. What do you say?
Oh, automaton.
Yes. Can you give us the inspiration for creating him, your character?
Oh, absolutely. So I love automatons in science fiction, everything from iRobot and things like that. So some really old school classic sci-fi. But I also in fairy tales love the idea of like Pinocchio and stuff like that.
Oh,
And while
yeah.
his story isn't Pinocchio, I like the idea of exploring what it really means to be like alive and to be human, which is also why I like Frankenstein stuff so much. And the automaton just kind of came about because of those things. And I had written an automaton in my Monsters and Machines story, and I called him Adam in that one because um, it was like an Adam and Eve kind of story in that one where Eve created Adam, the automaton, and I'm like, I want to write another automaton. Where can I put one in here? And I'm like, I've got this airship pirate. She needs a pilot, so we're going to put the automaton in there, and it's going to be fun. And I'm going to make a Star Wars joke in there whenever he's broken to bits at one point in the story, and it's going to be hilarious. So
Nice. I love that.
he came from a few places.
So you're bringing up Pinocchio, which is also like another fairy tale. There is a channel here on YouTube. I love it. It's called Tale Foundry, and it like looks into like different things about writing or different stories and what that says about our human psychology stuff. And the one they just came out with was how like Pinocchio, I think they call like Pinocchio's death or something like that. Like the original story is so much darker than that story that we know from the Disney version. Like he like kills the cricket or whatever, and
Oh my gosh.
something like that.
We'll have to look that up. That sounds really interesting.
And I love the videos because they're like video essays about writing and what draws us into the writing as humans, what it, things like that. So I love the difference they come up with. So
That sounds right up my alley. I joined the Folklore Society out of London. They allow worldwide membership, and it's so that I can dive into those archives and read about like the history of folk tales and fairy tales and stuff like that. So doing research is very much my thing. And that Foundry video sounds amazing. I'm going to have to look that up.
The channel name is Tale Foundry, and actually it's a robot it's a cartoon, but it's really well done. It's a robot who hosts the shows, and he's one talking. So because it's delving into human psyche and psychology and why we like things about certain stories or the story or whatever, how stories have informed us as humans. He's like, I don't get it with you humans, and so it's kind of cool.
Oh, Pinocchio is perfect for that. That's so fun.
Yeah. So Josh says, me too. I love automatons. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Yeah, and old school Pinocchio is savage. Oh, she does
read that. That's one that I haven't read the original of. I've read quite a few, but I have not read the original of that one.
Yeah, they talk about how because how it was redone. That just recently the Pinocchio was just redone as a live action or something. I don't remember what it's called.
I need to see the new one.
Yeah, and it says like, no, do not stop. It's a brand new chair, and he wants to put his claws into it.
Oh.
That one's Loki. Hi. Didn't even know you were up there. What? So, what was I saying? Oh, okay, I got it. Got the at to stage, 30 minutes on the clock. And did I rewind it? I did. Okay. And we'll get started in 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everyone.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was time. How did you do?
I did pretty well. I've got an opening set up, and um, I haven't gotten inside the shop yet, but I've had a lot of fun with explaining the appearance of the shop. And to make it more complicated, it was set between two businesses that were already arguing about the space in an alley because one was an automaton repair shop, the other one was a coffee shop over the limited space for um, the broken down parts from the repair shop and space for the trash for the coffee shop. Well, then they had an even bigger problem whenever the next morning the alley is completely gone. They don't have their dumpsters anymore, recycling bins, and worse, the alley is even bigger with the antique shop in there that never seems to be closed, and nobody can talk about what they've bought.
Oh, wow. So we were supposed to eventually, right? Hold on, let me get to it. I didn't get to that part in mine either. It has enchanted items that grant wishes at a price. Had you figured out like that part in your head at all?
So far I just had the items in the window. I had a typewriter, a jewelry, and a fancy clockwork doll at the front, and it had weird signs like reliving your childhood memories. Like it
Oh,
seemed like weird marketing.
yeah.
And like
I
right
love
that,
that.
but like it seemed like weird marketing in there, but we haven't been inside the shop yet. But like
Oh,
there was like little clues in there, and I just had my witch and my angel show up outside of there, and he's not thrilled about having to go in there, and she's pulling him along, and he doesn't want to.
I love it. So I do try to like put things in my world. So I thought, okay, witch. I don't really have witches in my world. I do in the future once I get to the end of all of these series I'm doing because my world is set up on the chaos lore, and the chaos lore is a prophecy that no one knows what it says because they've lost it. All they know is the end of all magic, and the only thing that doesn't have magic are humans. Humans are made when the fae from different seasons cross, breed basically, and so humans are the only thing without magic. Everything else is magical. So almost everybody is fighting against not ending magic and trying to stop the chaos lore from happening. So I've got the last series in my mind of when it happens because it's going to happen. And so then after that, there's going to be no more really magical people, but just like magical bloodlines, like in humans. Because even though the humans are made from crossing seasons, they, if it is like close, there's different rules in there. So they could have like a little bit, like one like power from a certain element. So I thought, okay, what if mine is a witch? She's called a witch because she's human, but she's descended from a metal fae. And so what I have is that she's like feeling this vibration, and it pulls her to the shop, and it takes her to a key, and she picks it up, it stops vibrating. And then someone says, "Don't you hear the music?" And she turns, and it's the guy is there, and that's the angel. And I suppose there are angels in my world as well, but I haven't got that far in my thinking. And they have this whole conversation about music, and she's like, "I don't hear any music." And then he says, "Oh, but you got the key." And then I realize the box, that he's looking at a box, that he's been like his attention's on a box. And so she's got the key. And so she's gonna put in the music box, and then now we're gonna have some type of something's gonna happen. That's as far as I got.
Oh, I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to the motivation yet of why the witch and the angel are there, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. I was thinking like because it's supposed to be like basically, I keep forgetting, the wish is at a price. So I had come up with like two things, but I don't really like either one. But like every wish erases a memory. So it's going to be a music box that sings, that asks for their wishes. That's what I was thinking. But I don't have that in there yet. So every wish erases a memory tied to love, or the wishes slowly bind their souls to the shop.
Ooh, those are both really good. I like it.
So I was like, I don't know which one I would go with, but yeah, that's what I've come up with so far. But, yeah. All right. Let's see. And we left off with Jocelyn saying, "Oh yeah, old school Pinocchio is savage. Claw that chair." That was from a kitty cat. He was still trying to do it after we went onto our sprint there, and I just finally told him get down from the desk because he kept going. This is a brand new chair I just got for my birthday. My birthday was January 16th. And my husband's like, "Don't let the cats claw this one."
Oh no.
And so Rachel stopped in, hopping by while I can. I'm having to catch replays most of the time. No worries, Rachel. I appreciate you stopping in when you can. Mara says, I took the pup out on a short walk and got some journaling done. And my baby girl, Melody the cat, is back on my lap. Finally starting to feel a bit better. Oh, I'm glad. Mars was not feeling well earlier this morning because I did sprints earlier this morning on my channel. So I'm glad that you are feeling a bit better. I was actually starting to feel like my throat was like getting kind of like that numb feeling when you think that you might be getting sick.
Yeah, I had some of that last week, and it just kind of threw everything off. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
just all the crud going around or weather changes or a bit of both, but
probably
it's a
both.
whole thing.
Yeah, like we were, it was 20 plus 29 degrees this morning when I went out. I'm in the panhandle of Florida, so we're not really used to a lot of cold here. Yesterday it was 58 degrees. Day before that
Oh my
it was
gosh, this is
20.
more Midwestern than Florida because
Yeah.
like that's what it's been here is like we had a Friday that was like -40 and now it's starting to climb up. Like this morning it was in the like 20s and now it was like 53 by afternoon, so
Oh
it was
wow.
quite a warm up.
Yeah, going from 20s to 50s,
Yeah,
almost 60s, and then back again. So
yes, because now it's cold.
yes. All righty. Well, that brings us, let me take the banner off here. That does bring us to the end of our time together today. Thank you so much for joining me. And before we end the show, please tell everyone where they can wait. I think I missed something. Before we wrap up the chat, can you tell us a little bit about what you're working on next and when it might come out?
Sure. I am working on a couple things. The first is a gothic fairy tale retelling of a really obscure fairy tale. My book is called The Clockwork Coffin. I don't have a pre-order link up yet because I had to delay the book, but I'm looking forward to it coming out early this summer. It's got a black cat and golden retriever dynamic where my female character is the grumpy one and she is dealing with a curse. And he is an unsuspecting piano teacher brought in by her parents to try to break the curse, but he doesn't know anything about curses. He just knows that he's been brought into this strange manner to tutor this woman in piano lessons, and he's just like, yay, it's a job, and we're desperate for it. But the original fairy tale that it's based off of predates vampire stories, and I'm told that this tale, The Princess in the Coffin, sometimes called The Princess in the Chest, it was used in the Witcher TV series in an episode. I haven't watched it. I'm not super familiar with The Witcher, but I had one of my readers tell me about that, so I'm excited about it.
Do you know what season? Because I think I only watched the first 2 seasons and then changed the actor. And
Oh, it's not with the new guy.
oh,
It's in one of the first seasons. But it's the one where the guy throws himself into the coffin near the end.
oh, yeah.
But that's based off of an old fairy tale. There's like a French version of the fairy tale. There's Eastern European. Like I think I read like 5 different versions of it before settling on this one.
Yeah, okay. That sounds exciting. So, all right. I did just drop a bunch of links in the chat for anybody who wants to find Kelsey. I got the Instagram, Facebook, Amazon author page. You want to see what her books are out there, TikTok. There are more that are down in the description box. And then I've linked her website at the top of the chat. So it should be pinned at the top for everyone's chat. And yeah, before we end the show, please tell everyone where they can find you, purchase your books. I mean, I put Amazon in there, but I don't know if you want to say anything
Oh, yeah, sure. My print books are available widely. My ebooks are starting to populate in libraries now, too. I'm mostly Kindle Unlimited for everything, but you can also find them on things like Hoopla, Overdrive. I think Palace Marketplace is one of the other ones since Kindle Unlimited loosened some of the restrictions there. Otherwise, my print books can be found anywhere that sells books.
Nice.
But if you look up my name, Kelsey Josephson, on my website, that'll take you links to my newsletter, and that's the best way to find out information for all of my new releases and all that fun stuff.
Awesome. Jocelyn said, thanks for the stream. Mar says, oh, Gothic fairy tale. As soon as I'm able to afford some books, I want to read yours. It sounds amazing.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Sign up for my newsletter whenever I'm ready for ARCs, and I will send one your way.
Yeah. Do you ever do like an ARC is before it gets published, but do you ever do just review copies for like individuals?
Sometimes I do that. That's definitely something I could explore.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want a review copy at Mars, you can reach out to her. So okay. Thank you so much again for joining me. And next on Charm Chats and Happily Ever After Sprints, we have another guest author tomorrow, Katie Cross, who also writes under K Cross for her Romantasy. And that will be February 6th at 4 p.m. Central Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And that will do it. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming. Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much for having me.
wanna tell you something. Don't be scared. It's midnight, baby, just us two, no bright lights, nothing to prove. Your handshake, mine do too, but it feels right being close to you. Come closer, don't look away. We both know why you came to stay. Your heart beats loud, I hear it too. This moment's a little taboo. Don't rush it, move slow, feel the heat start to grow. If you want me, let it show. Tell me soft, tell me low. Taboo, taboo.